These are the paying sponsors for the show. If you want to sponsor the show, you can contact me for more information. Shoot me an email at neveragainstudio@gmail.com. Finishers MMA. 3761 Nicholas Street, Easton, PA. If you don't know who these guys are by now, how dare you? They do a show with me called Now We Go. Zach and J.M. Holland run 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu in Bethlehem. They have another school in Allentown, and that's John Thor Blank. These guys are elite black belts in the game. They are doing things no one else is doing in the area. If you're looking for self-defense, if you're looking to get in shape, if you're looking to just get your life back on track, Jiu-Jitsu is for you. Check them out. You can find information on them at finishersmma.com. Zach and JM are the teachers over at the Bethlehem School. At Finishers MMA is for all of their social media. And you can check out Now We Go, which is a podcast we do every Monday. But those guys sponsor the show, and they're beasts. Go check out finishersmma.com. Sabraki Jewelry Design. Matt, I've known Matt almost my entire life, and it's pretty cool. He's got a great story, and he's going to eventually come on the podcast. He went to become a jeweler, and he went to school in California, and he got he finished with a degree as a graduate jeweler gemologist with a design in and wax in 2001. He's worked in both manufacturing and retail across the country. I've been following his story the whole time, and it's really cool watching him grow. And we talked about doing this for years, and he's finally at a point where he's working for a legit, well-known jeweler in Philadelphia, and that's D'Antonio and Klein Jewelers in Philly, and it's the city's highest-rated custom jeweler and manufacturer, and you can check them out on Yelp and Google. What Matt specializes in is custom-made jewelry and is a master at CAD design. He's worked on the finisher ring, and he's actually tried to do some stuff with Never Again stuff in the past, and we're working on projects, but we're talking about anything from can openers all the way up to an extremely expensive engagement ring, and it's cool watching him build that on CAD and seeing the design work in the background. He's working with clients from start to finish during the design and manufacturing progress to ensure peace of mind and superior quality with generations to come. Jewelers Row, quality and professional, and he's got affordable prices. He also offers repair services, jewelry restoration, and insurance appraisals, as well as pre-owned watch sales and services. All inquiries are welcome. You can check out his Instagram at sabraki.jewelry.design. It'll be right here as well. For design inspirations, call 484-426-3735. You can email him at sabrakidesign@gmail.com. All of this is connected through the Instagram account, and you can just message him if you have any questions as well. And he's setting up appointments, and you can hit him up for appointments in Philly and Lehigh Valley. And we're hoping he comes back up this way and sets shop up as well. And that's Sabraki Jewelry Designs. And thank you for sponsoring the show. All Valley Rooter and Plumbing is a one-stop shop for all of your plumbing needs. You can reach them at allvalleyrooter.net, or you can call them at 610-762-1656. They are fully registered, fully insured, and they have a 1-year parts labor guarantee. It is the plumber that we use for the show. Any problems that we've had down here in the studio, he's working on some projects for me now. He's stopped by several times. He's working on the studio above this studio. I personally put my guarantee on him. He's a close friend of mine. We grew up together. He told me the story about how he grew this business, and I'm impressed with Jared, and he does really good work. So if you need a plumber, do me a favor, do Jared a favor, call him. All Valley Rooter and Plumbing, 24-hour service. The number again is 610-762-1656, and you can get all the information you need at allvalleyrooter.net. And his social media is at All Valley Rooter on Facebook and Instagram. Rips Auto Detail. If you don't know who Rips is at this point, you are a first-time listener, but that's okay. We're going to tell you all about him right now. Rips Auto Detail, 630 North Nelson Street, Allentown, PA. Rips, he's the best. He's the best in the area. Highline paint correction, ceramic coating, and you can check out all of his work online. The best place to follow him is on Instagram at Rips Auto Detail. His daily posts of what he's doing over there. If you need your car restored, a boat restored, a plane restored, I don't care what you need restored, he will fix it. I've seen the guy bring things back from the dead. I've seen him work on clients' cars that are just continually bringing them in to get kept up with. He has a ton of different packages, and he can find one for you. So that's Rips Auto Detail, 630 North Nelson Street, Allentown, PA. You can follow him at Rips Auto Detail, and you can get a hold of him through there as well. If you go onto his social media, it's going to have his number and further information on how to get to him. I'm telling you, follow the social media. Give him a follow, show him some love, and check out what he's doing. He's high level, and he's one of our favorites over at the show. So check him out. Luke Delmeyer Custom Knives. They are high-end custom knives made and forged from scratch. Luke Delmeyer, friend of the show, out of Hellertown, Pennsylvania. He offers bladesmithing, farrier services, and blacksmithing as well. You can take classes over there. That is the thing that I push. I have a couple people that went over there, and you take a class and you learn how to make the knife. You start from step one all the way to the end, and when you're done with the class, you're walking away with your own custom knife that you made. The classes fill up pretty fast, so I need you to go over there and check it out. You can get all the information on classes and his custom knives on www.lukedelmeyer.com. Custom knives, classes, and more. Check him out. Follow him at Luke Delmeyer. Instagram's where it's at. All of his stuff's on there. He's got videos. He's forging constantly. He's been on some TV shows, and he's a friend of the show. So go check him out. It's Luke Delmeyer Custom Knives, farrier, bladesmith, blacksmith. Five and Dime Easton. Local skate shop in Easton, Pennsylvania, 140 Center Northampton Street, Easton, PA. You can call the shop at 610-393-7448. They carry a lot of local brands, and they carry Fucked as well. They're the only ones that actually are allowed to sell the Fucked clothing line in stores. So if you're one of those guys looking for stuff you can't grab anywhere else and some custom things, it's in that shop. I've worked with these guys. We've had them on the podcast. It's awesome seeing the Easton skate scene have their own store. The store itself, it's super cool. It's skater friendly, skater owned, and you got to go in and check it out for yourself. And that's 140 Northampton Street, Easton, PA, and check out the sales they got going on. Like I said, a lot of local stuff in there. We're going to collab on some stuff. I'm really glad to have them as a sponsor. It's awesome to see the skate scene in Easton have their own spot. So take my word, you got to go in, got to check it out. You can also check them out online. So it is 140 Northampton Street, Easton, PA, and their number is 610-393-7448. Check them out. Give them a follow at Five and Dime Easton on all social media platforms. BTG Blasting. Back to Glory Blasting. Why is it called that? Because this guy's bringing stuff back from the dead. Old decks, siding, anything you need. You got a business. He does commercial and residential pressure washing. This guy's got the equipment to give you the best look possible. You got a little one at home, it ain't doing it. He's bringing it all over. He's bringing it over, and he's knocking everything down, knocking the mold down, the dirt down. I've seen his work. He's done stuff at my parents' house, and he also just started doing virus disinfection. So if you have a business and you need it disinfected because of the coronavirus and all that, he has taken classes and is completely certified. He is now doing this studio monthly, and I can't thank him enough. I have guests that worry about things going on down here. We are now fully disinfected, and that's because of Back to Glory Blasting. It's fully insured, and it's commercial and residential pressure washing and virus disinfection at this time. You can reach him at 484-241-1711. You can also email him at btgblasting@gmail.com. Check them out. If you guys need any projects done, it's still summertime. You can get your decks redone, your siding redone. You got a party coming up, hit them up. If you got an office, you're running a kitchen. I know a ton of people that own kitchens. You can have it disinfected monthly for a fee, and he comes out and does it monthly. So you can, it's take all your worries away. and just get this stuff done for the disinfectant, especially the way times are now. So that's BTG Blasting, and we thank him for being a sponsor. Glenn Honan, Legacy Landscaping. If you don't know this name, you are not from the area. Glenn is a really good friend of mine, and he just got a new landscaping company back up. We did some apparel for him, and it's Legacy Landscaping. Glenn is the best in the area for landscaping. He's been doing it almost his entire life. I mean, before I was doing any of this, I worked for Glenn, and what he's doing now, it's awesome. It's awesome to see him back in action getting landscaping done. But he can cover all of your landscaping needs. You can follow him at Legacy Landscape, and you can reach them at 610-533-3669. Any questions you have with outside projects, whether you want to do hardscaping or you're looking to put in a pond, put some boulders out in the backyard, have some steps coming up, this guy can handle it all and more. There is not one thing that they're afraid to tackle, so you can reach them at 610-533-3669. What else can I say? He's a good friend of the show, and thanks for being a sponsor. Crawlspacerepairs.com. This is obviously for crawlspace repairs. What's crawlspace repairs? It's all the things that you don't want to do at your home, and you should hire them to do it. They are a family-run business, and they have over 120 years experience. They are specialized in crawlspace repair, encapsulation, and waterproofing. They provide exceptional workmanship and the highest quality materials. They have highly skilled technicians. They are also bonded and fully insured. They always provide free estimates and lifetime warranty for all waterproofing jobs. You can ask about their price match as well. So when you do that, you're going to need to call 1-570-476-5866. You can also go directly to their website, which is crawlspacerepairs.com. If you have any crawlspace repair needs, please contact them. 1-570-476-5866. That's crawlspacerepairs.com. Smooth Roots CBD. Smooth Roots is a farm-to-table hemp company focusing on providing the most experienced cannabis education backed by the highest quality hemp oil available. From cultivation to lab, testing to distribution, we believe in sustainable craft farming practices. This allows us to ensure our quality and consistency remain unparalleled. Our recent partnership with Trichome Farms in Oregon brings the farm to the Smooth Roots farm-to-table model. With experience stemming from the incredible craft cannabis market in Oregon, our Trichome Farms line is produced with the highest standards for quality, consistency, and cleanliness. If you didn't get a chance to check out the podcast, check it out. We have the guys on, and it's a boatload of information. I'm really excited to start working on projects with them. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, but that's Smooth Roots CBD, and you can get all of your information at smoothroots.co. Check them out. It's the best CBD in the area. Mike, this is so bizarre. Never Again Radio, episode 87. The cameras are good. This is so weird. Welcome to Never Again Radio. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. This is different for me. I'm used to having the control arm here and the headset, and I have things to hide behind, and now I feel like there's just way too much room here.
A centerpiece.
Yes, we do need it. Well, I had tchotchkes on here, and then it just piled up, and someone was
Halloween decorations.
I should have done Halloween decorations. I was introduced to you through a friend. I saw you walking into town, and I was like, who's that chick with the face tattoo? And then I started following your social media, and your Instagram is fun to follow. You're very out there. I feel like you're very 100% yourself.
Yep.
There's no bullshit in who it is. And then I saw then you started an OnlyFans account. And then now this comes like full circle. We were hanging out with a friend of mine, and we were just talking about like doing different shows and like what we should do. And we were talking about girls that we follow on OnlyFans. And he's like, dude, you should start interviewing OnlyFans girls. And I was like, it's a business. I like the way it's built. I like that girls can use OnlyFans and make a crazy living on it. Like, I watched a girl go from being an assistant at a dentist office to buying a multi-million-dollar home in Hollywood, California. And then I reached out to you and was like, would you, I knew you would because your social media is like, you're you. I didn't think that you'd be like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring you on to not only push that you're doing it and to kind of tell people your story, but I really want to start supporting OnlyFans girls.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah. I mean, how did you even get into that? Or like, how did you get your social media to a point where you were comfortable enough to be you? Have you always been that open? Like, where did all this start?
I feel like for me, a lot of my confidence happened when I started getting tattooed. And then from there, I realized that my own skin is how I feel most beautiful. It just so happens that, like, the less I wear, the crop tops, the ripped jeans, that's what makes me feel comfortable.
Were you always into like fashion and stuff like that growing up, or did you kind of find yourself after you were getting tattooed, or kind of like, you have like a specific style as well?
Yeah, I've always been into fashion. I've always been into my image. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my clothing.
Were you always into that growing up? Did you get that from like your mom? Was your mom into fashion?
No,
like it's just kind of like a thing you picked up?
I am some other form in my family.
I know the feeling.
Most people are like, where did you come from?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's influenced by the area I grew up in, which is here.
Yeah. So you've always been in Nazareth?
Yeah.
So moving forward from like how you kind of started finding yourself and all that, like when did you start really putting yourself out there on social media?
I would say probably about 2 years ago. I went through, obviously, as many of us do, a terrible breakup, long-term relationship. I cut 14 inches off my hair, colored it pink. And from there, that's kind of when I really started to find myself through the piercings, the tattoos.
Did you get into piercing first?
Yeah, I had been into piercing since I was younger, a teenager. I actually never wanted to get tattoos. I swore I would never get them. A lot of people had it in my head that I could never handle it. And yeah, so the breakup happened and I was like, we're going to color the hair pink, chop it off. We're going to get tattooed, as a lot of women do, except they normally go through their red hair phase, and I did a pink phase because I am not the same as anybody else. But yeah, so through that, I just kind of started to find my confidence and realized that kind of portraying myself in a little bit of a sexier way, it was just how I felt most beautiful about myself.
When you started getting tattooed and like people were telling you like, you shouldn't do it, it's going to hurt, you're not going to be able to do it. Like, what was the first one you got?
I have a Sailor Moon wand on my forearm. And
then from there, it just kind of
escalated? Yeah, just kind of jumped around on my body.
How was it when, like, what was the reception of when you got your face tattooed?
What do you mean?
Like, what did people think? Like, were your parents supportive on it? Like, was it a big deal that you got it? Because like I grew up when I got tattooed, like back in the day, like you weren't really getting your face tattooed.
Yeah.
And now, like that's a thing.
Yeah. I don't think too many people were surprised, just seeing how quickly I was tattooing every single month. I think they knew that something was going to eventually happen on my face. And it just so happened that I wanted to put a mandala on the side of my face. My mom, she wasn't surprised. I actually put like a stick-on tattoo type of thing on my face before I did it. And I didn't tell her. I just wanted to see her reaction. And she wasn't shocked. So I was like, all right, so this one's fake, but the real one is coming. And yeah, she liked it.
I feel like it's a lot more acceptable now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I remember my mom, like she's like uber Catholic, and my brother got tattooed, and she was always like, "Don't any of you get tattooed," because he did. And then she used to give me a lot of shit. And then when it started coming on TV and it started being like a thing, then she would like start telling her friends, "Oh yeah, did you see his new tattoo?" And then it turned into like a showpiece, and then it just kind of developed into like they just stopped. It was kind of similar where like people weren't surprised because I was getting so many, and it was kind of growing into a collection. And then it just, I don't know. That's like one of my favorite rabbit holes that I went down in life, was getting a shitload of tattoos.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of more of like a release.
Yeah.
Like it's therapeutic. It's really good for my mental health, is one thing that I found. It was just like when things were just kind of getting rough, I needed that release. The adrenaline just changed the game for me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I do it. It's just because I love the adrenaline rush.
I always felt like I would not complain, but it was like a therapy session with the tattoo artist, and then it was the therapy of like when it was over, it was kind of the release of like sitting through the pain. And I don't know, I was just always on cloud nine when it was done. It's like one of my favorite things when you like when it was like finished and then you could look at it in the mirror.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, this is me now. This is a part of me.
So you started getting the tattoos, you kind of started finding yourself with like your style and like putting a little bit of sexiness to it. And then did you start just slowly kind of being a little bit more sexual on Instagram? And then that's kind of how it came to getting into the business of OnlyFans, or like what was kind of the baby steps of that?
Instagram was kind of like where I started, just kind of posting like more sexier photos of myself. I think obviously like my tattoos kind of had a heavy influence on that. It's like, well, I have these things on my body. I need people to see them.
And it wasn't like you were just kind of doing, well, in my opinion, like when I saw your stuff, it wasn't like just kind of like, hey, it seemed like there was like thought behind it. Like you were trying to have like an image and a look and the lighting and you know what I mean? Like it was, I mean, anyone who would go look at it and you're @ I'll plug everything on it, but it's like when you look at your Instagram, it's like it's like done on a professional level. You're not just like being like, hey, here's me, like
hi,
it's
your local thought.
It's like a sexy
that this is like, hi, this is how I feel most beautiful about myself, and this is how I'd like you to see me.
Yeah. Do you feel
this
like
is how I feel good about myself?
Do you feel like that gives you a chance to like express moods through pictures and like do different things like that?
Yeah, because you can kind of, you know, change up your face, put your caption on there, and I don't know, kind of each thing kind of conveys its own message.
Yeah. Did you start, where did you first start seeing and hearing about OnlyFans and like kind of even remotely think about what you were gonna, like that you would take the jump into it?
I first noticed it like maybe a year and a half, probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Which is probably like right when it started getting.
Yeah, like it was kind of new. It was kind of like, what is this? And it was kind of through people who already had a really large following. They just kept mentioning this like link. I'm like, what is that? And I learned like what it was like a content creator platform.
Because it's not just for women putting stuff up. Like you can, like, I know, like you can host podcast channels off there, and like you can literally put
the behind the scenes footage of today's.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that going on where I think Legion of Skanks and some other bigger podcasts now, and I think King of the Sting do it with Theo Vaughn, where they now do like, hey, there's an extra episode and it's $10 a month and you get a little bit of extra content. And like once I started seeing that, like I said to Jesse too, I'm like, hey, there's like an outlet where like we should be definitely uploading our stuff on there.
Yeah, because it kind of gives your followers a more personalized experience to what you currently offer out there on the internet. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I heard about it, was through people that I was already following. And I was like, oh, what are they doing?
And what's funny is back then it was like taboo, or people were like super bashful, where they're like what you said, they're like, hey, click the link. Where now it's like, bam, you know what I mean? Like it's funny how much faster things are becoming acceptable because you're connected to everybody. So there's not just a group being like, well, that's wrong. There's so many people connected where you have enough people in the group that you can almost be accepted anywhere you go on the internet. It's one of the coolest things about it.
There's an audience for everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when you started finding direction in like taking that leap, like what were you looking into when you first kind of started seeing the platform? Did you see a way that you could slowly start running a business on the side? Did you see it as a way for you to express yourself a little bit further? Like kind of like what was the peak interest?
So I had friends that actually said like, hey, like you should put yourself on this website, OnlyFans. You would do so well. It's like you already have an Instagram that kind of strikes people's interest. You should offer them like a little bit more of a closer incentive or look at, you know, your life. And I was like, oh, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Like I don't want to really put myself out there. But I did, and I quickly, you know, got a following there where people really wanted to interact with me. And again, like for that, it's like when you're on like Instagram or Facebook, whatever, you know, you get like a load of DMs, and it's like, I really don't want to talk to you people.
This is a topic that I want to get into.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like what I also wanted you to kind of open up, and you can spend as much time as you want here. I don't know what it's like to be a girl on Instagram, but from the girls I talk to, like I have a friend who I had the exact same conversation as you 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, you might as well just go over to OnlyFans and start charging guys for what you're giving away for free on Instagram, and then you can do implied nudes or go a little bit further or do whatever you want. But then like when she took the leap, she's going through the exact same thing as you, and one of her biggest complaints, and she started hitting up other OnlyFans girls, is like how to deal with the guys. Now, I'm sure you were getting a ton of guys in your DMs before you even went to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And like what's that like to express yourself like that in a way where you're just being creative and sexy and you want to show your body off, and then every dude on Instagram thinks that you want to fuck them, date them, or that it's totally okay for them to just send you whatever they want?
So, I mean, like, so basically I kind of was getting all these DMs. I'm like, why would I sit here and try to entertain a conversation I'm not completely interested in for free when I could literally charge these people to talk to me because they want to talk to me so badly? So I moved them over there. And basically,
yeah, no, it's funny because that's the exact same thing she said. Like, where these guys will hit her up in DMs, and then she'll just be like, "Hey, if you want to talk to me, like, it's this much a month, and I'll like entertain your stupid horseshit over here because I don't have the time to talk to you." Nor, it's funny how some people will just like see you posting something, and then will just immediately think that like you'll sleep with them.
Yeah, no. There are rules, I'm a person that's not afraid to say it as it is. I'm not afraid to put my foot down. I tell them, this is not a place where I come to be a prostitute. This is where I come to just like entertain you. Like, we have a conversation, and if you have a certain request that I'm comfortable with, then I'll honor that.
How's it been kind of transitioning all of the conversations over there? Is there guys that like tell you to fuck off? Like, is there guys that get butthurt, or is it like, hey, okay, yeah, all right, I'll go over here, and this is kind of like where I'll deal with stuff?
Yeah, I don't really have anybody that's super disrespectful. Everybody's pretty respectful considering they're paying.
Yeah.
So normally they're genuinely pretty nice. Like, there is actually some really nice followers on there that I don't mind, just having a conversation with on there.
What do you think, like, what's the levels of different styles of people that talk to you on there? Like, is it people who are, like, lonely? Like, is it people who are, like, in relationships? Like what kind of, like, I mean, is it everything that you could possibly think of that people get into?
It's definitely a mix. There are people that are in relationships that just genuinely think, like, we think that you're super hot, and we'd really love to talk to you, or they might request something for their own personal life.
Yeah.
And then there are people that I believe are probably just kind of lonely, and they kind of enjoy that personalized connection. I think that's definitely one thing is some people will say like, oh, well, why would we pay when there's so much free stuff out there? And it's like, that's right. You can just go somewhere where there's free content, but some people actually want a personalized interaction. You can't go on one website that's free and try to look for something that was directly made for you, but an independent creator can do that for you.
What do you think about people who don't control their own site and have like somebody else interacting, and like, because I know on like the higher levels they have like companies that you can pay that like they take a percentage and then they run your account. But I mean, you're obviously not talking to the person, but like, do you feel like there's a bigger connection, or people like that you are 100% talking to them?
Yeah, I mean, that I'm not too familiar with. I do everything on my own.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything I do is through myself.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if, like, you mean like somebody running it for you?
Yeah, like there's girls that'll just pay somebody else to just, they give them the photos, they put the photos up, they're dealing with all the DMs.
Yeah,
And like,
I would rather just do it on my own because then I know what I'm comfortable with.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot more of an appeal because you're talking
Yeah.
to the girl that you're subscribing to.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how that works if somebody else does it for you. I just know I would rather do it on my own because I'm
Yeah.
in control.
That's what my friend who just recently did it. What did you feel when you started getting into the back end of it? Because she started showing me the back end, and it's pretty like set up where like they show you like how much money you're making, and like it's really like a straight up business tool. Like it's
Yeah.
not really like she's like shows you like peak moments and like how
Yeah.
much you're getting and like where you can kind of do things, and like you could set all the different prices, and then you could kind of put out like just a variety of all the different things that you would want to do. Like,
Yeah, that's super helpful because it does kind of give you like an overview month to month, like what you're making. Each day it tells you, you know, what you're bringing in. And you can see like where is it coming from. So like you're doing really well on your messages. You might not be making as much, you know, off of a actual post, you know. So that's really nice though, because it kind of gives you an idea of what is doing better for you and what's not doing as good for you.
do you feel like you're learning like almost to be a structured business inside of it?
For the most part, yeah. You know, each month I kind of like try to be each month's income, you know, but
What's it like for like just having constant like it's probably not the easiest thing in the world to be constantly doing content and like constantly just having to keep up with it. Like how have you got it down to a schedule now where you know how much time you have to put in a month in order to kind of reach goals that you're trying to get?
I kind of do it at my own pace. I just kind of do it. I keep it pretty relaxed. You know, people can take it as seriously as they want to, and you can make it as relaxed as you want to. I'm comfortable with how mine runs. You know, I kind of do like every other day. I try to have something out there every single day. But as far as like what I put out, like a post, I'll do like every other day. And in between there, I will do a direct message, like a mass message to my subscribers. So they kind of get something from me every day. Sometimes on the weekends I'll take off, but I always let them know, you know, what I plan to be doing. So I might say like, you know, Sunday there's nothing that's going to be going out or whatever. But some people, they have a schedule. They create their content a specific way. You can make it look as professional as you want, or you can just, you know, simply take a picture, upload it, or, you know, whatever you choose to do. But it can run well either way.
Yeah. What was it like to put up your first post on there? And did you think, like, when my friend did it, she found it was almost bizarre that, like, people were just finding her that didn't even know that she was doing it. What did you feel like it was, like you were picking up a following immediately, or did you see that you had to start putting it out there that you were doing OnlyFans? And, like, how was that to put up, like, your first post?
You definitely have to market it somewhere that you already have a following. It's really hard to, and maybe even near impossible, I'm not entirely sure, to just get a following through OnlyFans itself.
Yeah, because OnlyFans isn't like, it's not an app. It's web-based, and it's not, there's not really, you can search for people, but there isn't a way to look into who's on there.
I don't really think you can find other people's profiles inside of it.
Yeah, it's not,
haven't found
I wouldn't
a way
say
to
it's
do
not
it.
user-friendly. It's just not,
Yeah.
it's not a search engine.
It's very private.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the first post is pretty nerve-wracking because it's like I'm putting myself out there in a really different way.
So, like, take me through when that first post was and how that was. Like, did you know leading up to it you were going to do it, and then, like, did a photo shoot, or was it photos you already had? Like, how was the whole build up to actually doing it?
I did a fresh set of photos for it. And then basically I just kind of had to put the link out there on my Instagram, which is only where I market it.
Were you nervous?
Kind of, yeah, a little bit, because it was different for me. But I got a following like pretty quickly. I think it could be like a little deceiving and maybe kind of hurtful on yourself if you do this and like it's really hard, because I do know that some people have a really hard time finding people that want to subscribe. For me, it happened quickly. Like within the day, I had.
How big was your Instagram built before that?
I think I only had like 1,000 followers or so.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it happened like pretty quickly. The first month was actually like the best month I had financially on there. So
when you start getting into, and I don't want, like, I'm not asking how much you make. I never do that with anybody. But like, what was that like to start seeing numbers where you were like, holy shit, like I can make a lot of money off this?
Yeah, it was definitely like an empowering moment. It was kind of like, wow, like I just did something that made me feel so good about myself. And I actually earned like an income off of it. You know, it was a really good feeling.
When my friend did it, she kept sending me screenshots of like, I'm here, and she's still like, it's still growing.
Yeah.
And then now she's getting a little overwhelmed where she's like, I'm like, hey, like you have to come up with content now.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like you have a ton of people that subscribe, and now there are these members who expect more content. Was there pressure?
Yeah, because if people are paying to, you know, they're paying you to basically interact with them. So it's like you want to make the most of their time and money. So there's definitely pressure to make sure that you are constantly giving them a personalized experience, because that's what they're looking for. I try to make it as personal as I can for them. I try to make it feel like it's like a one-on-one experience for them. A lot of stuff that I do is mass, but I do offer them like customized, personal, one-on-one with me as far as like talking or like a special request that they might want. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely pressure to, again, I think everybody's different. You know, somebody who's not me might not really care that much to give their subscriber a personal experience. For me, I care because they're paying me, and I'm grateful for that, and I want to show them that. So
from people that I've discussed who do it as well, it's the same thing back, where they feel like the best results is making it personal. It is making it where you're talking to them one-on-one. You're making them experience that, like, you know, like what you said, like, yeah, a guy might reach out to you on Instagram, but it's like now they're paying to talk to you, so they're getting the attention. And even though they're paying for it, they're into the attention of it. But that seems to be like the best way to do it. And I mean, there's other ways people do it, but from the people that I see that I've watched grow their entire business out of it, is they just keep it one-on-one. Like it's just, they talk to you, they message you. It is personal. You can get stuff through them. And it seems to be that is the biggest way to kind of move the needle on there.
Yeah.
Where do you think, like how far do you want to go with it? Like, do you plan on pushing it to where that's what you do for a living? Or do you feel like you like it for a creative side hustle where it's just kind of like a thing that you do and it's a great income and it helps out with bills and you get to be a little bit more flirtatious and creative than you are on social media outlets? Like, what do you want to do with it?
For now, it's like a side hustle. It's just kind of like a hobby. You know, if it does take off, that it's, you know, solely my income, that's fantastic. Because ideally, that would be something I would like to have. You know, but for now, I take it as seriously as I can. And, you know, it's a pretty good side hustle. I think that's the one thing that kind of really keeps you going is like, you really can take it somewhere. As long as you take it seriously and put the time into it. So it kind of...
Do you see with the potentials where, is there times where like you have like a high month and you're like, man, like this is crazy. Like if I really push this and like kind of made this into a full-time thing, like I could probably make 3 times as what I would do working.
Month to month is kind of different. It's definitely like with the pandemic, I've seen like trends, you know, where some of my subscribers might not be buying into things like they have just due to income during the pandemic. Is kind of a back and forth thing for everybody. I don't know if that would be different. It might be, you know, if jobs and stuff and incomes weren't so affected right now. But there are definitely months where it does like so well. And it's like, you know, shit, like I could just drop everything and this is it, you know, but right now it's not as reliable, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of like up and down.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to kind of push it to a point where you had so many subscribers that you, even though there would be a drop off in the subscribers, you wouldn't see that much of a dip of the cash flow. So it would just kind of be growing it to a massive point. How much work is it? Like, how much work do you put into it? Like, do you feel sometimes it gets to be a bit heavy where you're working a full-time job? Like, I remember when I started this, it's like I had to work a full-time job and then do...
Fit this into it.
Yeah, like, so like I still work today, but like I would have had to work 12 hours, got done at 7 o'clock, rushed home, shower, met him down here, came down here, and then just sat down in front of you and I'm mentally spent. Like, is it sometimes tough to keep up with everyday life?
It can be. I try to, you know, I try to keep a set of stuff, you know, pre-made for like, if I have like specific posts I want to put out, I will try and take a day out of the week to just kind of like get all that together, and that way I can do it on the fly. Sometimes it's just not like that. You know, sometimes I just do everything day of, and that's fine too. Because like I said, the nice thing with this is you keep it relaxed, or you can make it as professional as you want to. I think it does well either way. Because I've done things.
Do you just kind of like dip in and out then on like kind of like how the week is?
Kind of, yeah. Most of it I just kind of do day to day, you know. Like I said, I will try to kind of get things ready for, you know, 2 weeks worth of posting and stuff like that, but you know, sometimes it just
never
doesn't
works.
work.
I try and
it doesn't always.
I tried, like I'll like book ahead on this and I'll be like, cool, we got guests for like a month and a half, and then like that'll be over, and then I'm like, shit, I know I'm booked. Now we have to keep going, like call somebody, be like, you want to come in tomorrow, or we'll run with no guests. Like, it just kind of gets away from you. Yeah,
but I mean, I think either way, it does well. I mean, I haven't found that one thing does better than another. As long as you keep your schedule pretty like routine for your subscribers, that's what matters the most. As long as they're getting what they paid for, that's what matters. You know, they don't know what you're doing behind the scenes.
I guess I never looked at it that way.
You know, they don't know, you know, that I spent, you know, 5 hours getting ready for 2 weeks. You know, they don't know that. As long as they're seeing stuff on their end, that's what they care about.
And I mean, your social media, like you do well with your social media. Like, you're on top of it. You're posting a lot. You're posting, you know, you go from your reels to singing to like, you kind of hit every wheelhouse of like what you would do on, but that's what makes it entertaining. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you use the tools that they give you to make entertaining social media. Yeah. So, I mean, if you take what your work ethic was with just putting up social media anyways, why wouldn't you, and this is the same reason I sent it to my friend, is why wouldn't you just take that format and then now put it into something where you can make thousands of dollars a month, just essentially doing the same thing, but with a little bit more sex appeal? Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, for the subscribers, it's all in the personal experience. So it's like, they might love your Instagram or they might love your TikTok, but they can pay to have a more, you know, closer look at your life. It makes them feel like a little bit closer to you. What's it like having all these different connections? Like, I mean, it's got to be not weird, but I mean, you're talking to all these people and there's emotions going into it. Like, how is it for you to juggle all these different emotions going on over there with it? It's you know, I don't know. It doesn't really. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe that. I mean, it's fun. I like having the connections. I'm kind of like an extroverted introvert. So sometimes it's like, I don't really want to be bothered. Yeah. You know, but it's nice. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Where do you see yourself, like, with just kind of growing it? Like, do you see yourself pushing it and getting more members? Do you see yourself kind of just hanging out where you're at? Like, what do you want to do with it?
As of now, I kind of just keep it where I'm at, you know, just like a side gig type of thing. I plan to keep it around for a while, depending on how well the platform continues to do. Because the problem sometimes can be where these like celebrities are jumping in on it.
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up too. Is what was your thoughts when, who was it, Bella Thorne?
Yeah.
Like that, but that like fucked up how you girls get paid, and it like really changed the whole platform.
I have seen.
Did you feel the ripple from that?
No, but I do know people that have. There are people that when Bella Thorne kind of came on and scammed her fans.
What did she exactly do as far as anyone who doesn't know?
What she did was she joined OnlyFans. She put it out there like, hey, I'm on OnlyFans. You can subscribe and pay, I don't even know how much it was. I think like $200 for a nude picture of me. And so she, obviously people, you know, took the bait. They paid. She made like $1 million off of it, her first post. And it turned out to be that her nude photo was actually a bikini photo of her. So obviously that was a flag to OnlyFans. They basically had to limit.
Because what did she implied that she was going to be topless or something? And
yeah,
then,
like she said it was nude and it wasn't. It was a bikini photo. It was I don't know, because I didn't obviously see it, but I'm pretty sure it was just like anything she posts on Instagram. So basically OnlyFans kind of had a flag, you know, like limits as far as like what you now can charge people. And I don't know exactly what they are. I think like they have a cap now.
Yeah, because before they used to make it where I think you could charge up to like anything. So there was people that were charging like $300 for a video, or like they were really like being able to rake in extremely high paying clients. And then I think that capped it off. I think that was something that was going on.
Yeah, there's like a limit now as to how much you can charge for like a pay-per-view message. Now
yes, that's what it was.
A limit that you can charge on a post. And then I also believe that there is a limit you can receive in tips now too. I have not personally been affected by this. There are girls that had, you know, money pulled out of their bank on the profile.
That's crazy.
I didn't see anything happen.
There must have been so many people pissed off.
Yeah, like I know that, you know, women that lost like $500. Like they just took it out of their account for whatever reason. It was.
And I think that they also changed the structure of when they pay the girls now or pay anyone now.
They were supposed to. Mine is the same.
It's still the same?
Yeah. Basically, if somebody like, you know, pays you or tips you, it takes like a week or two to mature. Then it goes into your available funds that you can transfer to your bank account and pay yourself out that way. That's how mine has always been. I heard that they were supposed to be doing like putting like a month.
Yeah, like at the end of the month, at the end of the, like you didn't get your money till the end of the month.
Yeah, mine's been fine though.
Yeah, I think it was like every 2 weeks now or something, and then they wanted to change it to the end of the month.
Like I kind of like pay myself out monthly to bi-weekly.
Yeah.
It just depends on what I feel like doing, but I'm able to do everything as I normally have.
I just didn't understand how they didn't have the money to pay her if everyone paid. You know what I mean? Like if everyone paid her, it's still like their percentage is still there, and then she made her money. So I don't know what the problem was with them not being able to pay out.
The issue was just like the point, you know, that the whole thing was a scam. And so then they kind of had to change like how it's structured as far as like how people are getting the income. I guess I think that's kind of where I'm not entirely sure, but
I just remember it was like a big deal.
Yeah, it
was like news.
It was just, it was kind of just like disrespectful to women that solely do this as a living. You know, it kind of really screwed them in a way. However, like I said, I haven't really seen a big change in how things are run.
But somebody who probably was doing this from the beginning and kind of had a really big following and like was, you know, making transactions where they were getting, you know, I know waitresses that have guys that come in that give them $100 tip just from them going to the diner because they're friends with them. So it's like if somebody was giving you large amounts of money in tips because they enjoyed your content, and now that's taken away. Like, it just doesn't seem, it seems like it would really affect the girls in the beginning.
Yeah. I do know a lot of some of them that were pretty upset with like that happening and how it potentially was going to affect them. But I'm not entirely sure, you know, if things definitely changed or not. Because like I said, my end of things is the same.
Yeah. I just noticed now a big pop in like women doing that, like coming over and getting on OnlyFans and using their stardom and then just driving it up. And then, I mean, she's still doing it.
Yeah.
And I know people that are still following her for it and don't care that she did that.
I think like the point in that really kind of like set some like OGs off was the fact that she kind of did that out of support for the community.
Yeah.
And it ended up being quite disrespectful because you just scammed your personal fans that are fans of your movies and books and music and whatever. It's like you scammed those people, and now that basically makes other women who solely make an income off of, you know, this type of work, whatever realm of it they choose to do, it makes them kind of like scam artists when in fact they're not. So
yeah, I don't know. That whole thing was weird. I knew some people who were mad about it. I knew a couple guys that followed it and didn't care, but I just thought it was like, it was funny how she played that because it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh my God, she's going to get nude. She's going to get topless.
yeah.
And then like the internet broke the next day where everyone was like, what the fuck? I want my money back. There was a lot of pissed off people.
Because she, you know, really implies herself on social media, you know, to be like a sexy tease. And then it was kind of like, oh, I'm going to do OnlyFans and I'm going to have nude photos for you to see. And then, you know, people pay $200 for this picture. And it's the same thing she literally has on her Instagram page.
Yeah.
When like there are women that really put themselves out there.
And don't just have a giant following and they're building a following.
They really like put themselves out there with their content, make it very personal. And, you know, now people are kind of like, well, wait a minute. Like, if Bella Thorne did that, are you doing that? Like, and it's like,
I guess it kind of gave a bad rap to
yeah,
just OnlyFans in general.
Yeah, basically. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, she still gets away with it. So.
Yeah, no, she's definitely still doing it. And then what's funny is she's not going to ever get naked on there, and it's just going to be keep doing the same implied thing.
And it's like, what do you honestly need that for? You're already making millions. You're already in your 20s and a millionaire, and it's like, what do you need that for?
Yeah, what do you think she did do that for?
A lot of regular people. What do you need that for?
Yeah. I want to thank you for coming on. I knew you would do this. Some people that I probably would have reached out to would have turned it down, but I kind of wanted to give you a voice on like just your side of it. It was just very normal, and it was kind of what I figured it was, where you kind of just progressed your Instagram into it, and there wasn't a crazy story behind it. And I think it's cool that you put yourself out there, and I think it's cool that you came on the show and wanted to talk about it. And I don't know, I support what you're doing. I always try and find cool things going on in Nazareth, and then when I saw you were from Nazareth, I wanted to reach out. And I don't know, hats off to you for just being yourself and wanting to be sexy and having a cool social media platform to follow. And I want to give you a chance to plug not only your OnlyFans, but like anything that you have going on, or your social media, or where anybody can check out all the things that we talk about.
Yeah, for sure. You can just list them in the description, although it's probably recorded too, so people that aren't actually watching off YouTube.
I'll have it in all the links and stuff.
Okay.
But
yeah, you can
what's your Instagram? It's
Caitlyn Amber with 2 R's, Caitlyn.
And then when you go there, you have all your links to your OnlyFans and everything else you're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to thank you for coming on. And if you're a new listener, you can subscribe to the YouTube. You can subscribe to iTunes by looking up Never Again Studio. And if you go to neveragainstudio.com, you will find everything that we are doing, including our apparel and all up-and-coming projects. I don't know how to end these ever. And normally I push the mic away, and now I don't have that. So it's just awkward. Goodbye. Then I say goodbye, and that doesn't work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.